One of the toughest things that I've had, or I feel like has been as I've grown my business, is just identifying the right people and having clarity of what that role needs and then putting those right people in the right seats. When I am talking to business owners, I like to say we're in the people business. Because at the end of the day, you've got your people that is buying your service that you provide and exchanging money for that value. And then you have your people inside of your company culture that is managing those systems. And so it just drains us. And if you look back, especially as you get to that $2-3 million mark, when you start looking backwards, you'll realize a lot of those systems took much longer than what they should have just because you kept pushing it back on the shelf because you played in the arena that you enjoyed playing in, which was probably more of that deal making, relationship making, dreaming idea portion of it. If emergency water loss came in, dude would flip his lid and you could see his energy, his personality, and everything would change to the point that even he wasn't trying to be an asshole, but the customer on the other side of the phone call could tell that he was agitated. So on the wonder side, you're driving down the road and you're just thinking about the possibilities and what could happen. So discernment was one of my strengths. I had wonder and discernment. And this is why I think it'd be very powerful for you as the founder, the general manager, the CEO to take yours as well, to know where you need to fill in your gaps to help your management leadership team in your company be a complete team. So he just speaks in a very positive manner. That's a galvanizer right there. It's not about, holy crap, man, we got such a big workload. Don't forget about the fact that your processes, and you have a process, it may not be a good process, but those processes, the more of those steps that are important as they get missed, they create chaos as they move down the line. And if you want to kill your company culture, this is how you do it very quickly, because it is a lack of respect for the people behind them. When you come in from a job site, don't leave your shit inside the van. You do not need to have stuff sitting on top of the dash, your trash, your drinks, the garbage bags from a demo job in the van, because the next guy that's going to hop in that van is going to get irritated when he has to clean your mess up. None of us are your mama and daddy, so clean your own messes up. The quicker you can see that as a leader and as the founder of your business, the faster you will make sure you don't burn fantastic people inside of your business and run them away. Because I know in the past I have done this. As a leader, more importantly than I ever have before, I've realized I am a developer of people. And when you understand how to identify your people's energies and their negatives, the things that just suck their energy, then you will be able to help support them. Because as a founder, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, CEO, whatever title you give yourself, it is your responsibility to decide where the energy of the company flows, the resources of the company flows. Customers are going to experience a great customer experience, and that allows you to charge a premium price for your service, because at the end of the day, people buy an experience, not a product and not a feature.
But here's something crazy I just want to share with you guys real quick. I just fired somebody. Well, my team fired him while I was gone. And it was crazy because she was a great player. You know, she was a number 2 for me with momentum. And it was one of those things where when she was gone, everybody was like, dude, we feel so much better. And it's like, why didn't y'all say anything? You know, so these things are important for all of us as leaders, because you don't know what you don't know.
And it doesn't matter if it's roofs, it's painting, if it's gutters, it doesn't matter what it is. It's all the people. We're in the process of hiring a project coordinator. So it's a little different than project manager. Basically, they're like the communication hub for the company.
First of all, your distraction is because you don't have clarity on what's the most important thing. Relationship capital is one of your biggest resources that you bring to your business.
Then I do Pomodoro, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. You cannot get me to stop during that 25 minutes. I get so zeroed in focus, which I'm sure is what you guys do too. I don't want my phone ringing or a message, or I have a thing that I put on my office that says, do not touch this door unless it's an emergency. Now I actually sit down for 10 or 15 minutes. I usually do it the night before and I review it just for a few minutes. And I say, what are the 3 or 4 things I have to get done today? If nothing else gets done, this 1, 2, 3, 4 things get done. Because when you have people who don't get stuff done, you're subconsciously always thinking about, are they doing that? Are they going to have that done? I found it to like slow up all my bandwidth Protecting our time is so important. And I'm going to say this a little blunt. It's like, I just sometimes get blunt with people who carry on, like my brother, sometimes my girlfriend. I say, just give it to me in 60 seconds. I got 60 seconds. Let's go. Now, everybody wants to just interrupt everybody. So I kind of set those guidelines and it works for me in a nice way. I'm being blunt right now with it, but I only do that to somebody who is a habitual line stepper.
Yeah, I found the deal. I didn't have the money. It was $1 million property. I knew it was worth more. It's a knockdown. So he came up with the cash. I negotiated a percentage of profits. And then we basically closed on the deal and then sold it 3 weeks later for one.
I've always hired employees that don't have experience, and I've hired them based on their attitudes. I showed them like possibilities, and we happen to have 2 freaking unicorn jobs. So they got 10 times, maybe 5 times their largest bonus ever this week.
I had like 5 guys and they were really good. And then we would take off on Monday and go to Great Adventure, Six Flags. And then the second year I told them all to bring one of their buddies who was working for another landscaper. And I ended up pulling 3 of those guys on